Welcome to the Scoop with Barb. This morning, we're going to talk about the playoffs and WNBA playoffs and what's going on with Carrington. Like, why did she hit Caitlin? Let's just watch this real quick. Look at this. This is another view that we got later, and this is her hitting Caitlin Clark and dipping her hand down and hitting her directly in her eye, which gave Caitlin a black eye, and there was no foul called on it. So if you're interested in talking about this and the rest of the playoff, what's left of the playoffs, stay tuned.
Hey everyone, you're tuned in to the Scoop with Barb, bringing you the important updates and information you need to know. Let's get started.
So this is where, and I'm calling this a boxing match. Like, this is going to be round 2 tomorrow night, Wednesday night, round 2 of this battle of Carrington. And then I saw where Marina Mabry, who left the Sky at the Olympic break and went over to play for Connecticut, was shooting lights out the other night. And there's a little clip of her apparently celebrating this hit, but I don't have proof of that. You know, it's being insinuated, but you can take a clip from anywhere and say that it means something. This right here should have been a foul, if nothing else. There was no foul called. They didn't even look at it. Caitlin went down. Did Caitlin exaggerate a little bit? Maybe because she calls herself soft when she goes down, right? But anyway, welcome to my channel if you're new to me, and if you're not new, welcome back. And if you wouldn't mind, hit that thumbs up so some more people will get this. It'll get out in the algorithm. And, you know, the algorithm is in charge of everything. So since this game, which, look, the Fever played ridiculous basketball. They, not in a good way, ridiculous. They did not play well at all. Early in the game, there were problems with the shot clock apparently not starting, and they on 2 fast breaks that I remember early in the game, maybe before and after Caitlin got hit in the face with long fingernails, they stopped the clock on a fast break. They don't even stop the clock in the WNBA when you get hurt. You have to call, there has to be a break in play. There has to be a whistle blown. There has to be a timeout taken, something to stop the clock. Just like you can't put a player in unless you have stopped the clock. So if you bench a player and you want to put them back in, you got to make sure that you can get that clock stopped to do that. You could bench your best player with, 30 seconds left and be out of timeouts and not get your player back in. So, there's all these ins and outs of this stuff. If you're coming in, I would love for you to let yourself be known in chat so I can see who's here and what your opinion is of DiJonai Carrington being so rough with Caitlin. I don't think Caitlin deserves special treatment. And I mean that in the best of ways. I don't think she deserves to be beat up on either. Like, I don't think that's a good thing. I think that she deserves the same care and respect as every other player. Does she give it? Yeah, she does. Here, let's just, since we're talking about that, let's watch this play when Caitlin hits Carrington, and Carrington loses her contact lens and then puts it back in with dirty hands and after it had been on the floor, which is very dangerous to your eyesight, right? So let's watch this. Yeah.
She is 8 of the last 10 for Indiana. Clark has it knocked away by Carrington. It'll stay here with the Fever. DiJonai Carrington lost her contact. And Caitlin Clark had something to say to DiJonai afterwards. Remember, DiJonai caught Caitlin in the eye in the first half. You hear DiJonai say on anybody else that's a follow-through foul.
On anybody else, that's a follow-through foul, DiJonai said. Well, what about when you hit Caitlin in a follow through foul. Like they didn't even call a foul. But players are going to mouth. I mean, I'm not against that. And you're going to mouth. You're going to say how you feel. Why not? It's a free world.
DiJonai wearing a mic for us today. So is Caitlin.
Man, I can't take the contact off the floor dry and put it in my eye. I give these ladies credit. Give me a little saline solution when mine falls out right.
And I'm not sure why the clock stopped here. Let's see that again.
Barb has it knocked away by Carrington. It'll stay here with the Fever. DiJonai Carrington lost her contact.
And it gave her an opportunity to put her contact back in. So, it's a rough game. It's rougher than it has to be. The Fever went into the game inexperienced. A few of their players had played in a playoff game. There were 19. It was 19 to 222 of how much they had experienced in the playoffs. So let's see what Jason Whitlock said about this. We're gonna play his video and we're gonna talk about it.
Assaulted yesterday in her very first playoff game in the WNBA. We've seen the animus directed at Caitlin Clark all year. It reached a boiling point yesterday. Caitlin Clark played a terrible game, shot 4 of 17 from the field. The Indiana Fever got curb stomped by the Connecticut Sun. I get it. She had a bad game. Connecticut Sun looked good. They looked experienced. They brought a level of intensity and physicality that the Fever weren't ready for. But damn it, in the first 2 minutes of this game, this DiJonai Carrington stabbed Caitlin Clark with her fingernails right in the eye. There was no foul call.
And Caitlin ended up with a black eye, as you all know, and there was no foul called. You don't get a black eye instantly, but it just seemed to me, I was like, why aren't they putting ice on that or anything? But maybe that makes it worse to go keep playing. Personally, if I've been hit in the eye, it hurts like hell to get hit in the eye. It hurts.
There was no real discussion of it on the ESPN broadcast. ESPN wrote a story after the game that did not mention that the biggest star in the history of the WNBA, the first woman to ever be the biggest star in American sports, was assaulted 2 minutes into the game on a dirty play with one of these women with these long fake fingernails that stabbed her in the eye. Do you think that had any impact on the game? Do you think that your meal ticket should be stabbed in the eye?
Now, I don't agree with him here. I don't think that she has brought so much money and so much interest. With interest comes money. Viewership it's crazy. And even going against NFL games, they're getting a lot of, a lot of views going against NFL games. And so I don't think that Caitlin deserves anything special as far as extra, but I think that she deserves respect. And she's not getting respect on or off the court. Like, the players don't like her. And it's ridiculous because I understand on the court to be competitive and everything, but off the court, why are you hating on somebody who brought you so much, who has made the WNBA a household name, whereas before we weren't watching the WNBA. It was boring.
Intentionally on the court 2 minutes into the game, and there's no problem here? It's not worthy of discussion? I read this ESPN story. Alyssa Thomas had a triple-double, and so-and-so scored X number of points, and the Connecticut Sun knock off the Fever. And I'm reading the story. I'm like, where's the mention of the fact that the Michael Jordan of the WNBA was assaulted has a black eye during the second half of the game because DiJonai Carrington stabbed her with her fingernails in the eye.
Yeah, so I mean, you can talk about that all day. Let's watch this again. We watched it when I first went live. Y'all weren't probably in here yet. This is what happened. When I first saw it from another angle, I made a short about it right after the game at some point, like pretty late that night for me. She comes down, and you can see from this angle that she actually curves her nails down towards her eye. Do you think it's intentional? Let me know in the chat if you think it's intentional. Put a 1 if you think that she intentionally curved her hand down and hit her in her eye, because she immediately pulls it back. So I don't know. I don't know what's in Carrington's mind. I think that the Connecticut Sun, you think it was intentional? Hey, William, I think that the Connecticut Sun could beat the Indiana Fever without being overly rough. I think that they have so much more experience. And then you've got Carrington here, the one that's hitting Caitlin. Her girlfriend plays with Caitlin. She starts or goes in 6-man. Naylissa Smith. They are in a relationship. Naylissa Smith and DiJonai Carrington right here are in a relationship. And after the games, whenever they play each other, they'll meet up on the court and get a picture taken. And the last game, I'll see if I can find that here in a minute. Naylissa Smith didn't seem like she was very interested in like hanging around with her girlfriend. That's got to be difficult to have. It's, you have siblings who play on different teams who maybe played together in college and then they play against each other. Katie Lou Samuelson, who plays on the Fever, and her sister play against each other, but they don't beat each other up, right? I just think that Carrington is just a really rough player, this girl right here. And I think that they double team Caitlin. They pick up Caitlin at the other end of the court and guard her all the way down because she's good at fast break passes, and they guard her on the whole court. So the odds of her getting hit or hurt are more because they are bound and determined to stop Caitlin. Now, if Caitlin's team had other players who had been like, which team is it that has like 4 players that were in the Olympics on the Olympic team? But, anything can happen because we already saw the All-Stars beat the Olympic team right before they went off to play in the Olympics. That was the most amazing thing. So it's not like you have to be an Olympic player to be able to make it, but I just think they're too rough. And see, Caitlin hits her right there. Let's see this. Yeah, Caitlin gives her a little punch here. Her arm goes back, and she hits her in the face. Caitlin's toughened up a lot. You got to be tough to play in the WNBA. Apparently, you've got to be able to take shots to the eye. And the thing about it is, Caitlin doesn't ever use that as an excuse. She never comes off the court and blames other players. She always blames herself.
And after she caught that fingertip in the eye or right around it from Carrington with no whistle.
No whistle. So there's the original view we had. You couldn't quite tell as much. So we got this other view.
Now, there's nothing Indiana can challenge here because no call on the floor.
Yeah, there was nothing to challenge.
Was made. Clearly not on purpose from Carrington, but also enough contact that it certainly could have been a personal foul.
Could have been a foul. Should have been a foul.
You see the poke in the eye. And one of the areas that Indiana has improved so much since their first game of the season here in this building, Ryan, is
I'm
when
sure
that
that
blitz
hurt a
comes
lot. Like I said, they didn't put any ice on it when she came off. But I don't know why they didn't call a foul on it. But here's what they said. Here's what she said after the game.
Honestly, I felt like I got good shots. They just didn't go down. And yeah, obviously got me pretty good in the eye. I don't think it affected me. Honestly, I felt like I got good shots. They just didn't go down. And obviously a tough time for that to happen. Like I got some really good looks. I felt I had three wide open threes in the first half that like you usually make. So that's tough, but I felt like I battled and tried my best. Took care of the ball better than I usually do, which is a positive. But overall, like coach in the locker room, like we were down 3 the first quarter, down 5 second quarter, and then lost by 3 in the third. Like we were right there, and I felt like we just played a crappy game. Like the flow of the game was really bad. I don't know if that was the referee, and that was probably partly us because we struggled to get stops at times, but also like the clock getting messed up. It was just one thing after the next. But yeah, overall, like it didn't bother me. Obviously, it didn't feel too good when it happened, but it is what it is.
Front row on the right.
I don't know if it bothered her.
honestly,
You have to take her at her word. She said it didn't bother her. But yeah, here was in another
the
game,
Fever really stretched out this one.
got knocked down.
The Fever really stretched out this one. The Fever really stretched out this one.
Gotten beat up this
The
season.
Fever
Put them all
really
together. Had them all together and put all those plays together. Paul Rondale says that Caitlin Clark criminally assaulted 2 minutes into first playoff game by DiJonai Carrington. Look where the ball is, how Carrington's hand is pointed, and how Carrington is targeting Clark's eye. Looks to me like they wanted to intentionally injure Clark. I mean, it does when you see that picture and her hand is cupped down like that. It does look like it was intentional. But in the moment, with no whistle call, there's not anything you can do. And even in this game, let me find that because hold on just a second. Let's see. I was going to go to something else, but just a second. Here. Christy Sides got a technical the other day, which is very unusual. A lot of people want Christy Sides to be if I spelled that right, it might have come up. Christy Sides may be gone after this season. I've not been the one wanting her fired, but here she is giving.
And plus, you don't want your players to be the ones
down before catching that basketball.
He said the F.
sides. I have no problem with that technical foul at all. And plus, you don't want your players to be the ones down.
So that's Erica Wheeler trying to keep her coach from getting 2 technical fouls and getting kicked out of the game. The thing about Christy Sides is that I don't think she's a coach that typically is going to lose her mind on the sidelines and get these technicals. And a lot of the fans are like, well, she needs to get the technicals and that would keep the players. Like, she doesn't seem to back up her players a whole lot. I don't know what happened on this. I think it was, it was this play right here. They inbounded the ball, and they said that she wasn't inbounds, but she was. And Christy Sides, so she got the ball. I don't know the rules, like when you're jumping in bounds like that. But anyway, she got that technical right there, and it was good. It was good that she got a technical because she doesn't typically like stand up for her players. And she's been known to like kind of throw her players under the bus. But yesterday, they hired a new president. They got, let me see, her name is, hold on a second. I got it right here. the new Indiana Fever. She's coming back from the Pacers, where when she was with the former Iowa coach. No, this is a joke. Former Iowa coach Lisa Bluter to replace Christy Sides, and that's not going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. But now they have brought back. Her name is Kelly Crosskopf. The longtime architect of the franchise is returning as team president. So will she fire Christy Sides? Will she replace Christy Sides? There's been times in the season where Christy Sides has done some of the worst coaching imaginable, and people have been calling for her job. But they have promoted Kelly back to come back to the Fever, where she will be the team president of basketball and business operations. Will she fire Christy Sides? Oh, look at the little dog. Oh, that's Naylissa's dog. Well, if I see a dog, I got to stop. That's Naylissa's messy dog. Okay. I didn't know you could bring your dog. So I named my dog I just adopted after, and you can hear her barking because she's in a crate. Hold on a minute. She wants to be part of it. Okay, so what do y'all think? Do you think that the do you think that the Fever will fire Christy Sides? Do you think she should be fired? I don't think so. I don't know. Like, you've got the best player to ever, arguably, the best player to ever be in the WNBA playing on a team. They ended the season at 500. They let that last game go, getting ready for the playoffs. So they ended 20-20. First playoff since 2016. Will they make it past the first round? I don't think they will. I want them to, right? But they've got to win the next 2 games against this team that they only beat 1 out of 3. 1 out of 4 in the season. Connecticut's better than the Fever. Can the Fever pull off against the refs too? They've got, 2 shots they've got 1 shot at it. If they don't win tomorrow night, they're out. If they win tomorrow night, they get to come home. They get to come to their home and play in Indiana. But so this Crosskopf woman was the Fever GM and president from 2000 to 2017, when she led the team to 3 conference titles and a championship. And then I guess she got promoted to go over to the Pacers, but now they've moved her back. And let's see what happens. We'll see as soon as their season ends. Talks about the importance of Stowe. Yeah. I expect big things from the new president at the Indiana Fever. Wonder if Jenny Buchek gets a chance to coach in WNBA again. Yeah, do you think they'll keep this? Do you think they'll keep this Fever coach, Christy Sides, who took the team from a horrible season last year into the playoffs this year? You got to give her kudos for that, or did she cause Caitlin not to be as good as she could have been? A lot of people think that she did, because she sits her out. I think Caitlin's a handful for a coach. I think you could ask Coach Bluter about that. I think that she's got a drive to play basketball. I think her life revolves around basketball, and I think that she doesn't necessarily like to take leadership over herself. I think that she is probably really difficult to coach. But we've seen a lot of things happen over time. Let's go back over here and listen to some more of Jason Whitlock here.
Play I believe it's side 11. Could we just play this on a loop? So I'm not exaggerating. Caitlin Clark's trying to pass the ball in the first 2 minutes of the game, and this woman swats at the basketball and somehow decides to turn her hand down and her fingernails and jab them right into the eye of Caitlin Clark. No foul call. No refs stopping the game to go look. Is this a flagrant? None of that.
It seems like to me that if you're swatting at a ball, why does your hand cup down like that? And you don't want a foul called unless you're trying to hurt her. You guys that put the one in chat, do you think that they want to hurt her? Because put a one if you think they want to hurt her and get her out of the game, because I don't. I think that would be dumb, because I think Connecticut can win with Caitlin in the game. Obviously, they beat them 3 out of 4 times in the regular season. And I don't think that you want their best player out and then, we beat them. Well, I just don't know that you got bragging rights if you got somebody kicked out of the game. I think you lose bragging rights over that. That's just my
Everybody
opinion.
moved on. Your biggest star, your meal ticket, the reason why you have relevancy, just got stabbed and assaulted and nothing. And DiJonai has a history with Caitlin Clark, like many of these girls in the WNBA, but she's at the top of the list along with Kennedy Carter in Chicago and Angel Reese. Those 3. But here's earlier in the season, DiJonai Carrington.
Earlier in the season, we're getting ready to watch what he's saying, but there were 17% of the level 1 or 2 fouls, technicals, were on Caitlin Clark, on one player, out of all those fouls over that part of the season. This was probably a month ago. And I heard somebody say 20%. I don't know if they were just rounding up or if that was how it ended the season, with Caitlin getting one player, even just getting 17%. That's a lot against her.
Mocking Caitlin Clark on the court, played a very physical game with her back then too. And look, does Caitlin Clark do some histrionics, some flopping, and perhaps I'm giving them this out on what happened yesterday. Perhaps if Caitlin Clark wasn't known as a flopper, the refs would have taken it more seriously when she got stabbed in the eye and fell to the court.
Caitlin does flop sometimes, and she often, she's always like, you didn't call a foul, that's a foul. Well, just, keep your head in the game and leave that out of your game, because people take offense to that and they want to get mad at you about that and they want to call you a flopper. She's a force. She is a force of nature. And will it calm down next year? Will they still be after her next year? Because there's no rookie of the year for her next year. She's going to be in line definitely next year for player of the year if she continues to get better. She was in the discussion this year. But let me see. Adam says, I feel like after the backlash these last 2 days, Cece will be getting the LeBron whistle. Oh, you do? So can you tell me, I know who LeBron is, and I don't watch the NBA, but does that mean that Adam, or Adam's Odyssey, does that mean that she's going to start getting better calls? She's going to get whistles called when they hurt her? I don't like the refs in the WNBA. They don't seem like they call consistently, right? And I understand the speed of this game is very fast, very favorable whistle. Thank you, Adam's Odyssey. Well, I mean, I wish she would get more favorable because it's certainly not very favorable. And I'm just after that game Sunday, I just don't even see the Fever being able to beat them. But I want them to. I mean, I'm a huge Indiana Fever fan. I want them to win, but I don't see them beating. I don't see them beating this team 2 times. I just don't. But we can hope.
Perhaps they were a tiny bit confused. Like, perhaps in preparation for the game, it's like she does some flop and we don't know what to. I'm gonna give them that small out, but that's not what I believe. This is inexcusable, and DiJonai Carrington needs to be suspended for game 2. You can't. That's not a natural act of you contest a shot and then all of a sudden your hand turns downwards and straight into the eye of the biggest star in the WNBA. No. It's not a natural act. And I called it out yesterday in real time watching the game. Like, hey, that was on purpose. That was not an accident. And part of me thought.
Now, Jason Whitlock is a huge Caitlin Clark fan, right? I mean, just same with me. Same with me. I'm going to take her side. But I also have, just sitting right here today, have said negative things about Caitlin because she's not a perfect human being. Like, there's nobody perfect. And she does flop sometimes. And she does get rough too. She has to. There's no way you can play in the WNBA and not be rough back. You have to be able to stand your ground. Come next season, she's even going to be stronger. I don't know what she's going to do this summer. We don't know yet. Is she going to go play in Europe? I don't know. She doesn't need the money. She's got that big Nike contract and Gatorade contract and all that. So she's not like some of these players who need to go overseas and play. I don't think she's going to play 3-on-3. I don't think that's that other league that they started. I would be really surprised if she does that because she doesn't play 3-on-3, and I just don't think she'll do it. I don't think she'll do it. I think she'll work on her game. I wish the whole team would just work on their game. I don't know legitimately how. I know in college you can only work out X amount of times. It's very structured so that one team doesn't have an advantage over another with more practice time, and you can't do it year round, but that doesn't mean that the players can't. You can have football practice without the structure of, like you can in college. You can do things. Definitely she's going to be working on her strength. She's going to be in the gym. She's going to be working on her shooting, floaters, all the different things that she can do with her game. I would see Caitlin just practicing against a bunch of guys this summer, doing whatever she can do to get better and stronger. But I don't know what her plans are. Definitely she needs some time off from games.
Initially, but that was on purpose. Is Caitlin Clark making too much of it? Is she exaggerating it?
I don't know. If you get hit in the eye, are you? Hey, NBA a la Chilena. NBA a la Chilena. How you doing? Is Caitlin Clark making too much of that? Have you ever been hit in the eye? Like, it really hurts. And she does have a lot of facial expressions and things when she falls and gets hurt. And sometimes she gets hurt and you think she's out for the season and she gets back up. She's very animated in her movements after she gets hurt. But I don't think she's faking it.
Trying to get the call. You can think both things. You can think, hey, this is on purpose and it's a dirty play. But you could also think, is Caitlin Clark making too much of this?
I don't know.
And then later in the game, when they mentioned, like, hey, you can see the black eye on Caitlin Clark's face, I was like, oh, yeah, that was it. It was.
Robert Davino says Carrington could be kneecapped outside of the arena by someone that is unhinged. I hope these players have sufficient protection. I know that Caitlin's got somebody with her all the time, but that reminded me of Nancy Carrington getting hit in the kneecap pre-Olympic skating. So yeah, I mean, that's scary thought though, Robert. I mean, nobody wants anybody to get hurt outside of the stadium or any of the arenas. And they are playing in Connecticut, which is at a remote it's in a casino. And yesterday, let me see if I can get that up real quick. Erica Wheeler posted on her TikTok. I mean, not her TikTok. I don't even watch TikTok. Erica Wheeler posted, "I can't lie, being in a hotel for days in the middle of nowhere is a challenge within itself." And then she put and she put these faces and stuff. So the thing about it is, let me show y'all if you haven't looked this up, because I looked this up yesterday. They play it's in Uncastville, Montville, Connecticut, in the Mohegan Sun Arena, which is a mostly rural area known for Mohegan Sun, with casinos, a resort hotel, and a shopping complex, plus the Mohegan Sun Arena, which hosts concerts and WNBA basketball games. So I guess they're staying out there. Wheelers used to be in Indianapolis. It's a big city. You're kind of out. I guess they're out and away, but not that there's nothing to do there. But I guess it's an uncomfortable feeling for her because she posted that. And so, middle of nowhere, I guess that's how you'd feel if you were here in Arkansas. They don't have Secret Service. No, they don't. She's going to be at clubs. Oh. Tanya Harding, a big CC fan, so beware. I hope not. Is she? Is she even still around? Yeah, well, it seems they want to end Caitlin's career. I'm 65 and have never seen these kinds of attacks in any sports, even contact sports. Well, Robert, I'm 63 and I haven't either. So we're about the same age. But now I didn't watch WNBA, just hit and miss here and there over the years until this season. I admit I'm new to the WNBA because I didn't like it. And combine this with the kinds of attacks Trump supporters are going through right now, the atmosphere is not a peaceful one. Well, it's not. It
was intentional, and it did.
And then, going off of that, not taking up for these players who are being so rough, but you're in that position, you're playing basketball, and all you hear is Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark. And are you going to get jealous? Probably. I mean, because really, on my channel, when I cover basketball, 99% of the time, I'm not that much. I'd say 85% of the time. It's about, hey, yeah. Oh, you're in Little Rock, Adams? I lived there till a few years ago. But I am in Arkansas. But I forgot what I was saying. No, I think that players are jealous of Caitlin Clark. They're just jealous of her. It's easy to be jealous when you've been around in the league for years playing your heart out or not, and somebody new comes in and that's all you hear about. And that's what I'm interested in is when Caitlin Clark plays. And then I've become a fan of the whole team. Not that I think they're all great and they're all as good as Caitlin, but I pull for them as a team. And they do better when they play as a team. And Lexi Hull there for a while was really shooting lights out. And Boston, without Boston the other day, they wouldn't have even been in the game. She was hitting her shots. But, I don't really like Naylissa Smith a lot. Maybe because Carrington's her girlfriend and it's a conflict of interest. Yeah, go Hogs. The league is all about BLM, white hating women. Robert, I don't know. Is that true? Kelsey Mitchell really came on this year, and you gotta okay, Christy Sides can't talk about Kelsey Mitchell. I mean, she talks about Kelsey Mitchell way more than she favors Caitlin Clark. I don't think that the league knew what was going to happen when Caitlin Clark came into the league. They're not used to having so many eyes on them. They are not used to having so many viewers. They are not used to the people spending the money that they're spending. They're doing it because of Caitlin. They knelt for the anthem. Well, okay, Connecticut Sun doesn't come out for the national anthem. The Indiana Fever always does. Why don't you come out for the national anthem? What is it, 3 or 4 minutes long? You can't put that into your pregame. I remember when the LSU Tigers didn't come out in the national championship for that. It's wrong to me. You should come out for the national anthem. National anthem. Maybe I like Kelsey Mitchell, and I like Boston. I like the whole team. Love the content, ma'am. The Fever have been so entertaining to watch. Yes, El Professor, I agree. It's been so much fun. I'm sad the season's about to end. I wish the Fever could get past tomorrow so we could get at least one more. Every game, can we just get one more? If they win, they could get 5 more, or at least 3 more games if they won 2 here. Why should the people support American-hating BLM communists? I don't know. I don't want to get into that, though. We're just talking about
real damage. And I'm not blaming it. She shot 4-17 from the field. I'm not blaming that on this. What I am upset about is like, hey, man, your meal ticket is under constant attack.
Your meal ticket. Tomorrow they're going to be playing in Connecticut again. Now, it would be better. It would be more fair if the underdog team, if it was one game, and then you played the third game at the higher ranked team. It gives a little more chance for the underdogs, but that's the way they have it set up. So yeah, they're going to be playing again at Connecticut, and then the Fever have to win to get back home and give their fans a game. Chris says, this is my first season for WNBA. I only started watching for Cece. When she's not playing, I won't be watching. They can have their hateful BLM league back. It's like watching roller derby. It's rough now, Chris. I got you on that. It is rough. Roller derby's supposed to be rough. I mean, it's physical. This isn't supposed to be that physical. Yeah, they're going to play tomorrow night, and then they'll play Friday if there's game 3, and it'll be back at Indiana. It'll be at Indiana if they get a game 3, and it'll be standing room only. Caitlin said, they asked her about the playoffs, and she said, I've never played in the playoffs before. They asked about the fans, and she said, there's no more room. We're sold out every game. They could do standing room only, but when was the last time Caitlin have only 11 points? Tell me she could see. Yeah, I think that there's no way that it didn't affect her, but I give her kudos for not saying it affected her, for downplaying it. Like, she downplayed it. She's not blaming her game on it. You can't blame your whole shooting game, but she did hit a 3 before that. Oh, Robert, you didn't? I just never watched it because it was boring, but I do watch some other games this season, but kind of halfway. Like, I'm typically on the internet reading and doing. I guess I have ADHD, undiagnosed ADHD, but when the Fever are playing, I'm focused on the game, right? But when I watch other teams play, like I watched the Aces play a few times because I wanted to see Kate Martin play. She got to start a couple of games when they had injuries, but now she never gets to play. Robert never even watched it. She has too much class. I don't think the physicality bothers Cece as much as her not getting fouls called. Yeah, I think that she's still, even after, like, she's still a rookie, but wow, after playing 40 games and a couple exhibition games, you're not really Oh, and the All-Star game, you're not, so much of a rookie anymore, but I don't think she's gotten used to them not she's gonna have to get used to them not calling fouls. I don't think she has yet. She's your hero. She never complains about the noise. She just breaks their records. I love it. Yeah, she is the best at being able, she says she doesn't pay attention to all this stuff. There's no way that Caitlin Clark could listen to all this noise and be able to go out on the court and do what she does. And I think some of these other people aren't able to do that. Like Angel Reese wasn't able to do that. And I did a whole show on Angel Reese quitting on her team. Evidently, there were some problems with the team, with the Chicago Sky team in the locker room. And I don't know if they were angry at Angel Reese or exactly what was going on. But I think Angel Reese, even in her own words, was given the choice to keep playing and get it treated later or completely stop playing because she didn't want arthritis at 22. I'm saying you've already broken. If you already have a break and you put a pin in it, that's not going to stop your pain. I've got a 2-level fusion in my lower back and it hurts every day. So, there's really no cure that's going to stop pain, but I hope she doesn't have pain from it. Carrington and the league are lucky I'm not Caitlin's dad. Not to change the subject, but do you cover Razorback sports? Well, Adams, I did a little bit last year. Not extensively, no, because I don't know enough about football. And I'm really down on the team. I'm just not like the last few seasons. It's just been so bad that I don't get excited about it anymore. But I did last year. I mean, we talked about the Hogs, but I didn't really cover football. Angel Reese is not a good player. She can't make a layup. No, I don't think Angel Reese is good either. I mean, she was good enough for college. She was good enough and tall enough in college. But in the WNBA, I don't think that she's all that outstanding. Now, you can't argue the double-doubles. She set records for those. Except when she padded her stats, Evil Reese, she is no damn angel. Yeah, she's not an angel. Lady Razorbacks basketball. Well, Adam, yeah, I mean, I might cover them this year if they would ever be good. I haven't watched the Lady Razorbacks, but I might. I mean, I might watch them this year and cover them. I wish they would ever get good. They had a really good player. They had some really good players that quit on them this year. And one of those is going to Kim Mulkey. Barb, where do you think the Fever are headed with the new president? Yeah, you think that I think that they're going to get a new coach, Professor. I was just saying that earlier about them. I think they're going to get a new coach. I'm not on the bandwagon of fire, Christy Sodds. For some reason, I like her, even though I don't always agree with her, some of the things she does. Why do you not have Caitlin bringing the ball down the court every time? I mean, I know sometimes it's not when you're breaking and she's not there to get the ball. Okay, that's fine. But when you're setting up a play, and why don't they set her up to make the final shots when she's their best shooter? I see that she's going to get double teamed. But when you give Boston a chance to shoot a 3 to win a game or tie a game, no, that doesn't. No, I love Boston. She's great in the paint, but no, you're not going to give her the ball to shoot your 3 to try to win a game. Records for getting your own missed shots from 3-point. Yeah, I know, Robert. Well, Angel's got her podcast, and she's going to be playing that 3-on-3 league coming up they're playing in Miami. That's another reason why I don't think Caitlin will do it. I don't think Caitlin is, in Miami kind of rough. Isn't that a really rough area of the country? I just see more like the cornfields for her. Boston was the 4th option on that plate. Oh, she was? Layett says something needs to be done to assure Cece that she is wanted, valued in this league. Otherwise, why stay when she should go play in Europe, make more money, suffer less violence, and actually be respected. I've heard those people over in Europe are huge fans of basketball, and maybe that's what she has planned. I don't know. I would see her doing that before I would see her playing in that 3-on-3 league, but I could be wrong. I don't know everything.
There's been dirty plays all season. And again, I've admitted, some of them have been exaggerated. It's just typical rough play with girls. But there are some that it's just been dirty. And DiJonai is one of these people that has a real problem with Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark, this offseason, they have to dump Nylisa Smith. And I halfway like Nylisa. I don't think she plays properly. I think she looks for her shot too often. But Nylisa is like this 6'4" power forward that they have, who should be their enforcer.
Yeah,
she can't.
I don't really want to care to talk about that.
Enforcer has feelings for the opposite.
Let's see what other people are saying about bringing in the new president, visionary scholar. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't have that. I don't have that pulled up. This is Outkick. We're gonna
with no whistle. Now there's nothing Indiana.
Yeah, I was just talking about that, Robert. Earlier in the season, it was 17%. Did something else happen, or is that a rounded up number? Because I heard that too. I heard 20%, and I didn't know if that had gone up since the 17%, or if Adam says Euros League is also very physical, but much tighter officiating. Caitlin has played FIBA rules in the past. She would do very well. Oh, okay, yeah, she has played in her younger days.
Carrington says no.
Now, Marina Mabry right here. Let's see. We can go to. I know where I can find that. Let's see. What's his name? Rhodes did that. It was at Black and White Sports 2, and he showed. Just a second. Just give me a second here. I appreciate y'all all being here, and if you could hit that like button to get more people to notice this channel. I'm trying to see what he said about 3. Let's see what he's got here, because I think this is the one where he shows Marina Mabry maybe celebrating, but we don't have proof that was what it was. Well, I was talking about that earlier.
Fans, well, when you conduct yourself as a scumbag on the basketball court, that's not in the streets. You're not going to get met with a bunch of high fives and a bunch of warm reception from any fan base. You're not going to get that, right? Some could say, well, if you get your ass chewed out by fans, you're probably asked for it, right? And the world really exploded when this angle of this eye gouge, this eye poke went viral from the game the other day, because from this angle, it looks like this eye gouge is very much intentional. You can see what that says. The WNBA needs to investigate.
Really, Ellen?
And let me just replay it right here. And then, of course, there goes the eye poke into Caitlin Clark's eye. She did get a black eye out of this, right? Well, this wasn't the first run-in, of course, with Caitlin Clark this season. We all saw her.
Here it is.
On the court. And, the hits keep going on, but we've got this video that's surfaced now that happened during the game, and I believe this is after said eye gouge. And look, I liked Marina Mabry. I did. But I find this behavior to be pretty revolting. And it seems
here's
to be.
What I said earlier is I don't know. We don't know. And he doesn't even know. He even admitted we don't know that this celebration was about her getting poked in the eye. We don't know that. She mimicked she did? Oh, I see what you're saying. So it was after 19. As a Baylor alum, I don't like Carrington or Smith.
A mocking or a celebration of Caitlin Clark, the vicious eye gouge on Caitlin Clark. Watch this, folks. Right there.
Does.
We don't know what they're laughing and a hee-hee and a ha-ha. Let me turn that down. We don't know what it is they're going on about, but it looks like they're making fun of what happened.
Now, I'm with him. I like Marina Mabry. I didn't know anything about her, but I watched her play for the Sky, and then she got traded, like I said, during the Olympic break. She moved over to Connecticut. And, she's shooting lights out the other night. Without her, I don't even know if they would have won. Adams says Carrington's a poser. Her dad played in NFL. She was raised in a gated community. She grew up Disneyland, but posing as ghetto. Oh, really? It was, I see it's obvious there. Look at her hand right there on the screen. I know it's small for you guys. WNBA needs to take action. If they've got proof of this, then, the game tomorrow night needs to be called differently. It just does. I don't know who's calling it. I don't know one ref from the other, except that Roy guy is the one that told Caitlin Clark to shut up early in the season. But then I saw some of the female refs telling players to shut up. I mean, I'm surprised as much as they allow the players to interact with the refs anyway. And, what constitutes a technical and what doesn't when you're talking to the ref. I guess if you use the wrong curse word or say it the wrong tone of voice. Get real, she made the hand shape and point to Carrington's eye. There's no coincidences. The Fever was cheated. Well, I'm seeing what y'all are seeing here.
And, well, if you want fans to not be nasty to you, probably ought not celebrate this kind of bullshit.
Right.
I'm just going to keep it real, right? So, a few weeks ago, DiJonai Carrington called the Indiana Fever fans the nastiest in the NBA, and she was asked prior to the playoff game, has anything changed ahead of the playoff matchup?
And a few weeks ago, you tweeted that the Indiana Fever have the nastiest fans in the league. Do you have any message for them going into this series?
No. She knows exactly what she's doing. All right, there's no confusion. Jason,
do y'all agree that the Indiana Fever are the nastiest fans? Yeah, I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. Look, I became a Caitlin Clark fan at two seasons ago in college. I was amazed at her. Those logo threes and everything in college. Then she's number 1 draft pick. Then she, I start watching her in the WNBA and it's fun, and all that riffraff about if she was rookie of the year or if it was Angel Reese. Oh, give me a break. Hey, Greg, I'm not a racist. Yeah, she's a trip.
And Whitlock yesterday came out and called it assault. Said DiJonai Carrington should be suspended for game 2. I agree. I mean, it's a wrap. If the WNBA and Kathy Engelbert, if they're not going to step in, then Adam Silver and the National Basketball Association
that was ridiculous.
Needs to step in. At the end of the day, he can step in here.
Let's go over here to where I can just pull that up myself and talk about it so I don't have to play his the whole time. WNBA culture. Look at this. He's got her over here in this. What is that? Like they're all hating on Caitlin. Let's see. Talk of boycotting the NBA if nothing is done. Yep, I love how she does charity. Bud Light, the WNBA and the NBA people are pissed. Angel Reese doesn't do charity. Does she not really do any? Because Erica Wheeler has raising money for children, I think, with pickleball tournaments, and she's got some fundraiser that people have somebody bought Erica Wheeler's lunch or dinner the other day at a restaurant anonymously. And so so she said, look, I got plenty of food. Maybe y'all could donate to my nonprofit. And she's got like $3,000. I think if Caitlin Clark asked for money, she would get a lot more than that. But, you know, I like Erica Wheeler. I think she's been around the league, and is she one of the best players? Maybe. You know, mediocre maybe for the W. There is a toxic faction in CC fan base, but it's not a majority, and it's not her fault or responsibility. Exactly, Adams. So you can't blame Caitlin for what the fans say and do, because when you hear her speak, she's always above the board. She's always
fuckers who talk about manhood and all that. You cry like
attitude about things and says the right things. Does she believe what she says? Maybe not. I mean, you got to know that she's pissed off when she gets hit in the eye and doesn't get fouls called, but she takes the high road, right? We are white Christians. Y'all, let's not talk about the lesbians and the black and white and all that. I mean, you can have your opinion, but those Angel Reese Instagram pics are pretty charitable. It's reverse racism in the WNBA. It's the black women attacking the straight white women. Well, most of CC's fan base are normal people, only 5 to 10%. Yeah, I would say that, you know, like, I'm a fan and I'm not a racist person over here. Like, you've sat here and listened to me talking negatively about Caitlin at times. She's not perfect. She's not a perfect human being. Nobody is. She's all about her. Angel is, yeah. I love all the fever, but Smith. Yeah, Smith needs to go. Smith, I don't know where Smith's going to play while she's girlfriends with Carrington, because they're always going to play against each other. The whole league plays each other. It's not like college where you could go into another, like, you could go into college and play in the Big 10 or Big 12 or the SEC or the, you know, whatever league. And the only time you might ever play your girlfriend in that league would be if you played in the big tournament, right? The odds are pretty low. But in the WNBA, right now, they play every team 3 or 4 times. There's 4 times, I guess. Lexi Hull, my favorite player in the league right now. Yeah, I like Lexi too. I really got on board with Lexi. She hasn't been shooting as well, but her defense is to die for. You can't get enough. Me too. I can't. I mean, I'm just sad the season's about to end. I'm like, Angel Reese gets on social media for the wrong reason. 99% of Caitlin fans are kids and families. Yes. Boston has a lot of those young kids coming after her. You see them. They love Boston. Look, Boston portrays a nice attitude as well. It's not, you know, it's how you treat other people. You can't hide from the truth. I'm pissed the WNBA isn't doing anything. You can't say, let's not talk about it while the Bulls runs through the China shop. Yeah, I gotcha. I love Kelsey Mitchell. Yeah, she's been doing really good this season. The owner of the Dream came out and said, in the open, she said Caitlin's fans are not like them. I don't know.
if you take off your capes for just a second and look at this objectively from this viewpoint right here, you'll see that there's no way DiJonai Carrington intentionally poked that girl in the eye. But anytime something happens to Caitlin Clark, Jason Whitlock and the rest of the white knights want to press charges against the jealous black Shaniquas. There's nothing intentional about this. And notice that you same motherfuckers who talk about manhood and all that, you cry like bitches whenever something happens to Caitlin, but you had nothing to say about the deliberate elbow forearm she gave DiJonai to the face later in the same game. Shut your ass up, man.
Ooh, well, now I see what he's saying. Because Caitlin had got her later in the game. I see that part. Let me see, what are y'all saying now? Somebody said, yeah, you hate Cheryl Swoops. Well, hate's a strong word, but Cheryl Swoops had the whole season to come around and be a fan of Caitlin, or at least talk about her being as good as she is. She can't even admit it. She got pulled from a game because the game before that, when Caitlin was playing, she wouldn't even talk about Caitlin. It's like those, monkeys. Wouldn't even talk about her. Can we swap the Samuelson sister parent trap style before the next game? Angel Reese focuses more on other things like social media, and it shows in her game. Yeah, I did a video about that when she announced she had a new podcast coming up. This was before her injury. And I'm like, and me and a lot of other people said she should be working on her shot instead of starting a podcast while they were running for the playoffs. And then she gets hurt and they give her the option of playing or not. And she quits and says, no, I'm not playing because I don't want arthritis. And her team they still had a chance to get in the playoffs. They had a chance to get in the playoffs up until almost the playoffs started. So I think Angel quit on her team. That's just my opinion. I'm not a fan of Kelsey Mitchell on the court. Off the court, she seems like a sweetheart, but I hate how Mitchell's game hinders Caitlin's game. Well, there for a while, they seemed like they were really playing really well together. And maybe it's up to the opponent. Maybe it depends on, because if Caitlin's getting guarded by the best play, it's just the defense. Maybe it depends on the defense, and they just don't look that good because the defense is better. You can see how she pointed her finger and it went downward. I don't see why her hand ended up on Caitlin. I don't see that. Like, I don't see how that would be an accident watching it from this view. Did she mean to hit her in the eye, or did she just want to hit her in the face? I don't know. Atlanta Dreams owner is a racist black woman. She actually purposely kept the team in that small gym with all of that drill rap music to intimidate white players like Caitlin around the league. Huh. Well, didn't all the white players leave the Sky? I think the Sky will get a new coach this year too. I think Teaspoon likes being friends with her players more than anything. And also, I don't know that Christy Sides is going to get fired. But a lot of people do. A lot of people want her to. Kelsey is great. She is one of the reasons I kept watching. Yeah, I think without Kelsey, they wouldn't have made the playoffs this year. Kelsey stepped it up. Kelsey had, 30 points when Caitlin had 35. I mean, they were getting a lot of points. Angel getting a layup transplant. That's funny. I love that number 12 off the bench. Kelsey and Caitlin are awesome. Why is she not kicked out of the WNBA? That is on purpose. Well, they're saying it's not on purpose, Axe Masters. Yeah, that's all. The rest of that's old stuff. But again, I mean, what? And I don't know about y'all. I don't wear contacts. I tried to wear contacts one time and I couldn't. I had different contacts for different eyes and I couldn't seem to get them in right. But I know that you don't put contacts on dirty. And I guess Carrington just did this because she didn't want the game to stop or didn't want to come out of the game, which is dumb. You could literally lose your vision putting a dirty contact in. Elaine, I'm not sure how to say your name, but are you a Baylor fan? And yes, it was entirely deliberate. You can gaslight yourself to be race loyal, whatever that is, but Carrington is a racist. You probably are as well. Me? I'm not racist. Skies are toxic. Kelsey's my favorite, second favorite. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think you should put a dirty contact in. And you can't compare, okay, Caitlin knocked her in the face, so, but didn't they call a foul? I still don't get why they didn't call a foul on, I still don't get why they didn't call a foul on that when Caitlin got hit in the eye. It's just crazy. Crazy, crazy. So, who thinks that the Fever can win tomorrow night? I'm taking a poll. I'm an alum. Oh, you're an alum of Baylor? Sky does seem toxic. 7-Upper says, I'm not a fan of Kelsey either. I hate her too. Oh, wow. Kelsey is selfish and for herself. I mean, there have been times when I'm like, Kelsey, pass the ball. But that was earlier in the season, and then she started passing the ball more. So, not you, the audio comment earlier. Okay, 7-Up, what? Give me somebody like Lexi Hall playing with Cece in the backcourt. Yeah, I like Lexi. Fever can win. So y'all think sure, the Fever can win. I said that, but yeah, they can win. I just hope they come out tomorrow and get a lead and play up to their potential. And I hope they're all healthy. And I never want anybody to get hurt. Nobody wants to win. Who didn't think Caitlin Clark was the Rookie of the Year? Cheryl Swoops and Angel Reese. Everybody else said no. No, you don't see it that way. I think the Fever can win. Passionately coming to the defense of Indiana Fever. Caitlin, yeah, let's listen to this real quick. It's only a minute long.
You giving her all this credit. What about the women that came? Stephen A., I would be remiss if I didn't say this. A lot of this noise came by people that were sitting on this network. They tried to minimize her, said, well, you giving her all this credit. What about the women that came before her? What the women came before her, what they did cannot be taken away. That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. But there was a lot of people tried to make sure they keep Caitlin Clark in her place, because what you're doing, if you give her all this shine, you minimize what they done. You can't minimize what Maya Moore or Candace Parker or Lisa Leslie or Lauren Jackson or Diana Taurasi or Simone Augustus or any of the other great players. That Caitlin Clark, what she's doing doesn't minimize what they've done, but we should have been giving her the credit. We saw the ratings, we saw the merchandise sales, we saw the attendance, but y'all want to make it about something else. Oh, what about the women that laid the foundation? What about this? What about it? That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is box office. She's doing this. And instead of giving her credit, y'all tried to make it about, oh, y'all poo-pooing the old guard. Y'all never talked about the old guard like this. Nah, I ain't gonna let it slide. Caitlin Clark, unanimous Rookie of the Year. But what's even more impressive, she's first team WNBA. First.
Shannon,
why did we always have to argue about, well, what about the ones here before? Well, they were here before and they had the same opportunity to do what she's done. And nobody's done what she's done. Tiger Woods was the same way when he was playing, when he came on the golf course. Fever's going to win, yeah. And when the Fever win tomorrow night, I'll be coming on first thing Thursday morning. We're going to talk about it. Yeah, I don't know why Lexi hasn't been shooting as much, but I think it could be that it could be the coach. Maybe she said don't shoot so much. I'm not sure. I've seen her have some wide open shots and not take them, though. I have. And you want more Graceberger? More number 12. I wish Lexi had Marina Mabry's mentality. Yeah, I hope that the off season, I hope they bring in some players that are more on the level of Caitlin, who are not sitting back. And I'm not saying her teammates are, because I don't know, but sitting back angry because Caitlin, and that's the thing about Erica Wheeler. She lost playing time bringing Caitlin on, but she was like one of the first ones to rah Caitlin and embrace her when she's getting beat up and talked badly about by people. None of this stuff that has gone against Caitlin has been.
I hear you, right? I hear you 100%.
Has been Caitlin's fault. She just goes in there and plays basketball and talks kindly about other people and doesn't make excuses and just continues to be an upbeat person. It's the fans and the media that even Cheryl Swoops can't stand Caitlin publicly, and then showed private text messages between them. That's a no-no. Not that it was anything bad, but you're not supposed to show people's private text messages. Yeah, if KM and Cece are hitting their shots, I think, well, all it takes, look, they could have won the game the other night if their shots had dropped. If Caitlin was making those threes, the game would have been totally different. We need to trade for Cameron Brinks. Well, I don't know. She hasn't been proven yet. Marina's the type of dirty player you do want on your team. Oh, they should Timmy and bring Damaris off the bench. Smith is simply not playing well. Yeah. You think they should start Timmy? We need better coaching. We need a coach who fights. Yes, I do want, if they keep Christy Sides, I do want her getting technicals. I do want her fighting for her players. I do want her to be more vocal. She wants the players to be more vocal. Let's get you to be more vocal and keep Caitlin, when somebody gets poked in the eye, you need to make a big deal about that. Smith, the first that has to go for sleeping with the enemy. Yep, she does sleep with the enemy. And maybe that's why after the game, I don't know if y'all saw this. Let's see if we can pull it up. Let's see if if that'll bring that up. Carrington should be ejected from the league. Oh, here they are after the game. They always get together after the game and take a picture. And somebody made.
I want you here with me. I'm sorry.
You mad at
Don't
me?
leave me. I want you here with me. I'm sorry. Don't leave me.
Like that.
I want you here with me.
Were they do they sleep together? And I'm just saying, do they hang out together? Do they because they're on this longer, their game was Sunday. They don't play till Wednesday. Some of the teams played Sunday or playing tonight, which we could talk about that too. Anybody watching the games tonight? Let's see who we've got tonight. We've got Atlanta Dream and the New York Liberty, which the Liberty's up 1-0. Yeah, I don't see the Atlanta Dream coming out of that with a win. No way. And the Seattle Storm and the Las Vegas Aces. LVA's ahead 1-0. I don't see them. I don't see either one of those games being all that great. Plus, the Seattle Storm Vegas game is right around my bedtime. But no, the Fever plays tomorrow night at 6:30 Central Time, and I will be watching that myself. But Yeah, do y'all think they hang out and play and see each other during this time? When Kelsey and Caitlin, or MC2, as I call them, get the ball moving, it looks like the Harlem Globetrotters. They played some games late in the season with some of those passes around. Maybe they took an extra pass and made the basket. But yeah, I think Smith's gone this year. But isn't Kelsey Mitchell a free agent? I hope they keep her. Why do they even allow players to have long nails? It's a hazard for the other players. Now, I know I know in the WNBA, you've seen players cover their, like, if you have a lot of earrings, you can cover them with bandages and rather than taking them all out. And you see that in some of the players. I know in college, like, they check their nails before the game. They should bite their nails like I do. Check their nails before the game. You can only have a certain length. I don't guess they do that in the WNBA. But I wouldn't want to be all scratched up. I don't have much faith in the Fever organization in making any roster decisions. Mabry would defend Cece. She's a goon. She used to fight all the time at the Dallas Wings. Oh. I only watch Caitlin. You do. They have posted a pic in bed together at the morning of a game. Oh no, Adams Odyssey. I did see them. There was a live stream they did earlier in the season. I think I showed part of that. I think I was live talking about that. I might have made a short. I don't remember. Depends on Kelsey's ankle and Caitlin's eye. Yeah, that's true. Kelsey did twist her ankle the other day. I saw a clip of Carrington and Mabry laughing and mocking how she poked Cece in the eye. Just nasty work. Well, Prodigal, I just showed that a little bit ago. If you rewind when we're done, if you've already seen it, yeah. But anybody else watching, I did show that. I did not know Mabry was that way. Hey, I'm scared of the new president working with Lynn Dunn before. That lets me know this organization isn't ready for winning yet. Well, I only watch Fever games. I think they do. The Fever can score Mitchell. Score Mitchell? Mabry probably don't like Cece because they got into it that first Sky game this season. Kelsey staying with the Fever. Well, Kelsey, like, they could have given her a new contract and they didn't, but I think they'll keep her. I think Kelsey will want to stay. I think Mitchell might go to Chicago if the Sky don't keep Carter. Mabry is crafty dirty. Yeah, I'm starting to see that. I am starting to see that. I look. We'll just watch this real quick again. Again, let's watch this again. Her hand didn't even need to touch Caitlin. And why does she pull it back like that when it did? The ball is back over her head and she's still punching down on Caitlin. Caitlin broke all their records in a much more mature league with better players than the old guard has to play against. Kelsey getting a Supermax contract from what I'm hearing. Oh, good. Good. I think Mitchell will eventually leave the Fever, but I think she's going to stay one last season and do a 1+1 contract with 2026 being a player option. That's why I said it was on purpose. Yeah. Watching it from this view over and over with you guys, which I had not done before this live stream. I had seen it. I'm on the thing that there's no reason that her hand went like that and then pulled back. Whatever happens with Kelsey, they need to draft a younger combo guard who can play defense like Sonia Citron from Notre Dame. Well, now, does anybody know the new season, the new teams that are coming in? How do they fill those rosters? That's what I don't know anything about. Like how, and do they start next season? I think it does start next season. So they've got 2 new teams and more coming in. We need bigs like Cordoso or that 7'6" tall Chinese girl. Yeah, let's get that Chinese girl. She's and I wouldn't mind Cordoso playing on the Fever at all. We need, I say we, it's not my team. It is my team. I love them, but I think they need a tall. And really, Boston's really good, but I think they need somebody taller. Let's get somebody tall back there with her. Caitlin needs to stop taking the high road. Being poked in the eye affected her game. Play with her vision. She takes the high road in post-game interviews. She needs to call them out. Well, old school, I don't think she's going to change in that way. I think that that's how her parents raised her. That's how she got through the all this stuff with Angel Reese that went on and all that stuff. Oh, they're going to do an expansion draft. No, Chinese, they are slow. Chinese players are slow. Well, wait. Who was it the Japanese players that were so quick in the Olympics? Except I think they're more shorter. I'm not sure. But yeah. And see, I've liked Christy Sides, but a lot of people think she should go, and I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. Cece always got to call out dirty players because the WNBA and even the terrible coach sides will not protect Cece. Cameron Brink, I don't think she can go anywhere. Like, I honestly don't know that much about the drafts and all that, how all that works. I was watching some guy the other day talk about the draft, and I was like, confused. It's above my pay grade. Japanese are fast and can shoot. Yeah, I remember watching them shoot those threes in the Olympics. Sabali, they're talking about Sabali coming to the Fever. House Sides only has one technical. Yeah, and look, Sides needs to get more into the technicals. She needs to stand up for her players and get some technicals so they don't get as many. And she poked her right in the eye, and I guess she meant to. Carrington should be given an F2 and suspended for game 2 for the stab to the eye of Caitlin. All of us seen the video. Where is the W on this obvious foul? Smith should be enforcer for the Fever, but can't because of love interest. Fever needs to trade Smith. Yeah, here they are post game. They always get a picture together. And this added stuff to it. But yeah, I just, I guess they're not the only two that have an issue because there are a lot of lesbians in the WNBA, but they are the most viewed, that the most that we see. The only thing that fears with me with the Chinese girl isn't her speed; it's her injuries. Paige isn't as good as Caitlin. No, I don't think she is either. I don't focus on speed or quickness like that. Her game, getting rebounds and getting buckets for Cece is something we can't miss on. We have the most powerful team in pro sports if you combine that Chinese audience with Caitlin. Yeah, give the Sparks 2 first round and Smith to Sparks for Brinks. Man, I didn't think about that, bro. The Chinese audience with Caitlin's audience, that's huge money. Well, let's hope that they make some good decisions in the off season. And let's hope that also whatever. Oh, that's my dog. Whatever happens with the next game or two, hopefully the Fever can move on and move into the semifinals. It's long odds. We should probably go bet on it. But I'm going to say that I've got my fingers crossed. I'm going to be watching the game like this. I'll be ready for it. And I'll be back the next morning, probably win or lose. We'll probably talk about the game Thursday morning here live. So if you're not a subscriber, you want to subscribe and catch that. I appreciate you all being here and chatting with me. It's really been fun. I should do more of these because I have so much fun talking about the Fever and everything. And let's just hope that as time goes on, this team just keeps getting better, right? We've got an off season. We've got new players will be coming in, maybe a new coach. we'll see how that all plays out, and keep watching my channel for more of that. Again, if you could like this video, it gets it out to more people. It helps my channel grow, and I'm very appreciative of everybody who comes to my channel, and because you could be anywhere else. I want the WNBA to suspend Carrington. Wait, DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas are married or engaged, both on Sun. Yeah, and that I guess being on the same team though is a little bit better. Thanks, Elaine. I don't know how to say your name. If the Sparks get page, they can put her with Rikia and Brink. Yeah, thanks for subscribing, y'all. I'm gonna go for now. I gotta let my dogs go outside. It's been good talking with y'all. I appreciate it, and let's go. I'm gonna hear y'all cheering all the way here in Arkansas tomorrow for this game. I'll see you next time. Bye.